World Health Organizations will tell you that soy is fine, that it doesn't lower your testosterone, which is actually true to an extent. So why should you worry? Well, it's only actually half the story because, like I said, it's to an extent. Coming from a guy that's increased his squat and bench press collectively a total of 200 pounds in the last 5 months, I have been hormonally optimizing, and there's a lot of things that go into this, and especially soy is one of them. Now, I just said and agreed with soy does not decrease testosterone. Again, that is actually in the short term. So phytoestrogens don't crash your testosterone and hormonal health short term, but actually in the long term, it can be a detriment because they downregulate your androgen receptor sensitivity and also efficiency. Not only that, but they also consuming them can lead to more gut producing bacteria that lead to higher levels of estrogen or more potent forms of estrogen long term. And this is actually much harder to reverse. And bro, just before we get into the video, if you'd like to optimize your human performance as well as your hormones, and you'd like to get stronger, jacked, and you want to have more energy, click the link in the description below and consider subscribing to this channel because you're really going to like the stuff we have here. So yeah, let's get on to it. So phytoestrogens in soy don't actually crash your testosterone on a blood test. They can actually even cause you to produce more luteinizing hormone, which in the testosterone negative feedback cycle, you'll know that actually causes more secretion of testosterone. But this affects you long term because the reason why you need to produce more luteinizing hormone is because your androgen receptors are not reacting to the testosterone you have. So it's forcing the Leydig cells within your testes to produce more, which will lead to unnecessary use and energy of them. Leydig cells may burn out from chronic overstimulation, and so the negative feedback loop gets distorted. And also, soy protein is generally just less bioavailable than meat protein and dairy protein. So actually having soy just one time will actually be fine for you. But then the buildup is really the problem. The buildup is just like, oh, it's just tofu one time. No, it's you having tofu saying that it's just one time and then having it over and over again. Animal studies show that long-term soy intake actually impairs sperm quality by about 25%. And this is also accompanied by altered sexual behavior, so like negatively impaired, and then also downregulated androgen receptors, as we just said before. And keep in mind, this happens when testosterone levels don't even drop. So this would not even be noticed on a blood test. Phytoestrogens act as weak forms of estrogens, and they can bind to the estrogen receptors and mimic the effects of estrogen, of course, in a smaller actual effect than estradiol. Genistein and dastein, mainly soy phytoestrogens, actually interfere with DHT, dihydrotestosterone, the most potent form of testosterone. And so not only does it antagonize the androgen receptor, but also it antagonizes the hormone that is most responsible for the development of the primary sex characteristics. This means, your size down there. This means, your this means all of your primary sex characteristics, essentially. So the body senses low response, increases luteinizing hormone, and then there's chronic overstimulation and fatigue of the Leydig cells because of the negative feedback disruption. Now, if you were increasing your testosterone by means of natural ways, so that your body was knowing, okay, I need more testosterone because I need it for my environment, for either competition or just to adjust for the natural environment, then that would be more healthy because your body's actually being able to use it. But because the androgen receptors receiving the testosterone are not functioning correctly, this actually impairs your health long term. So let's talk about your gut, which is like the hidden estrogen factory if you don't treat it correctly. 30 to 50% of people harbor this bacteria within their gut microbiome that produces an estrogen called equal. Equal is a more potent form than estradiol. Estradiol is the most potent form of estrogen within your body, or one of the most potent forms of estrogen in your body. So if you consider equal, this metabolized form of actually soy, it can affect your body by binding to those estrogen receptors and acting more potently than actual estrogen. Once your gut has this equal producing bacteria, even small exposure to soy can increase your estrogen substantially. So the way you can nurture your gut for this is you can avoid your soy intake, particularly, with soy sauce, and avoiding soy milk, soy protein isolate, and make sure you support your gut health also with fermented foods like sauerkraut or kimchi, and also incorporating polyphenols into your diet, things coming from berries or green tea. So let's recap. Soy doesn't crash testosterone, but that is not the full picture. Phytoestrogens downregulate androgen receptor sensitivity and can actually hinder the amount of dihydrotestosterone your body is producing or even using. It can distort the natural hormonal feedback regulation of your body. And phytoestrogens, especially found in soy, can rewire your gut long term to produce more estrogenic compounds into your body. Think about it as lifelong exposure equals less gains, less strength, less vigor towards the world. If you want to optimize your hormones naturally, be stronger, be more energized, and be more masculine in general, check the first link in the description below and follow my program. I really recommend it. It's really worthwhile for me, bro. Have a good one, man.